What is up, everybody? This is Cody coming to you live from DFS Prodigy. I wanted to go over the upcoming Fight Island card that is in a few hours, featuring Figueredo and Benavidez, the rematch. So we're going to go over DraftKings and the Fanduel lineup construction. Then I'm going to pull this and make it an audio form for my podcast people. And then I'll have my article out along with, like I said, the podcast and the YouTube video. So overall, guys, I'm really liking this card. And I think the main event and the co-main event is pretty good given the rest of the fights. Some of the other fights are interesting to me. But overall, guys, I'm really liking this card. So let's start off with the main event. We have Figueroa and Benavidez, the rematch. So if y'all remember, Benavidez got headbutted by Figueroa, which it was a bloody matchup. So I'm liking the narrative that Benavidez is going to come out and want to beat Figueroa like in a heartbeat. I think he wants to take down Figueroa easily. So, but here's the deal. I don't like Figueroa's cardio and his training aspect of the fighting because of COVID. I, I don't think he's been training. He hasn't been in recent form the same fighter he was. I like Benavidez because of um his cardio, his recent training. I like that his strength has gone up. I like that his accuracy on the punches has gone up. I'm really liking Benavidez, especially at the price points that they have him as. 7,200 for a guy that has the potential to win and has a narrative to come out and basically beat up Figueroa. I'm loving it, to be honest with you. So looking at both sites, they priced up Figueroa. Look, at $22. I'm liking Benavidez at 17. He's cheaper. And lately we've had the underdogs come out and do good. So I'm faking that the underdog, which is Benavidez, that come out and win this fight. The co-main event is what I'm really looking at. I'm liking this co-main event a lot with the Joker and Gastelum. So both fighters are close together, but I like Gastelum more at 8,200. He throws a lot of strikes. His style, I just think it will take over Hermanson. I like the finish in this fight by Gastelum. I just like that he's a better wrestler, honestly, in this fight. So I'm really banking on Gastelum to win in this fight because if you look at the price once again, on DK they're really placed together. So I'm just liking overall Gastelum. So yes, the Joker has a huge size advantage with the reach, but here's the deal: is he's just a weird kind of fighter. He strikes a little bit weird, like he's a little awkward. But I like Gastelum because I think he can take on the Joker easily and with the takedown potential. So I'm really liking Gastelum, honestly. Especially, I think he'll get a knockout in this fight with the Joker. So if you want to put him in, I'm honestly liking him as my captain spot on FanDuel. So let's go $17. So far on FanDuel, I'm really loving this with $17 fighters, and we still have 8,600 left to go on DK. So going up to the next fight, we have Dasaki and Fizez. So I like Dasaki's price at 8,600, but Fizez is a good striker, and that's pretty much all he's good at is basically watching the tape on him. I think Dasaki has the upside, but I'm just kind of like a little bit off of this fight. I'm kind of fading this fight. Lipsky and Carolina. So I like Lipsky a lot because she can throw a ton of strikes. I'm not liking Carolina because she broke her back not too long ago. I'm not trusting her back at all. So if you want to get Lipsky, I would love it if you got him. Oh, my bad, her. But I just like Lipsky more because I don't trust Carolina's back at all. But overall, guys, this is just kind of like a fading of the fight. Going down to Duffy and Alvarez. Let's talk about this fight. I kind of skipped over a few fights, but let's talk about this one. Duffy and Alvarez. Duffy is so high priced at 9,300 that I'm not liking it. He's on a losing streak. He's washed up. I'm just not trusting him at all. So I'm liking Alvarez to basically knock him out, and because he's a much better striker. And look at his price already, 6,900, locking him in and loading him. I'm loving it, honestly. Boom. $11 on FanDuel. Let's get it. Another key fight I wanted to talk about was the Gordon Albiza fight. I like Gordon here, to be honest, at his price point at 7,600. He's a better striker and can prevent Albiaz from taking him down. Gordon is a lock as value. I'm really liking that Gordon right here at his price point. Where is he at on FanDuel? Let's look at it. $14. How can you not love that? $14, honestly. So I'm locking him in as another value. $14 on FanDuel. Let's go over here. 7,600. I'm loving it. Look how much money we have left over. So I'm. Let's talk about another fight. Jackson and Johns. So Jackson is another high-priced guy, which I'm honestly liking that his price point is high because we need a guy in that price range. Jackson is a huge fighter. He has huge hands. If you look at his hands, it's massive. So that his striking ability is off the wall. I love it, honestly. I think he's just going to beat up Johns with a flurry of strikes, and Jackson should be the better fighter in this fight. So I'm honestly just going all in on Jackson, which, like I said, we needed a guy at that price point. So if you want to get to Jackson at that price point, I would love it. Going on to Brett Johns. Here's the deal with Johns. Johns is coming off the fight with Tony Gravely, who he submitted, which I know he's good at submitting, but at the same time, I just like Jackson overall because of how big he is. So he lost to Ricky Simone, which I know that wasn't too long ago. But ever since that, he's won his past 3 fights and he's on a winning streak. So I'm just going to try to ride that winning streak, honestly. So, guys, we have 11,000 left over on DraftKings. So you can basically pick your fight on who you want on DraftKings. I'm liking that as my core. Over on FanDuel, you still have $22, so you can basically do whatever you want on FanDuel. Overall, guys, I'm thinking this is a pretty good core. I know I didn't go over all the fights, but I'm working on my article a little bit more, and then I'll get that out to you all with all the fights. But like I said, guys, we're pretty locked in on what I'm liking over on both sites. So, guys, I think we should have a good cash night. I think we're ready for this fight night in the rematch with Figueredo and Benavidez. Have a good night, everybody.